In Good Health tonight, early identification and intervention are critical for any child who develops a problem on the autism spectrum.
The problem has been finding the earliest possible markers that might predict those at greatest risk. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with the newest research, and it's promising.
It is, Kimberly and Jason. Researchers have been looking carefully at every possible risk factor, exposure, and test that might be helpful to predict who might develop an autism spectrum disorder. And today, there are some promising findings. Let's start with genetics. There's more evidence that autism has genetic ties and isn't simply caused by environmental factors. New research has identified an additional 18 gene variants that appear to increase the risk for autism. The 18 new genes all affect how brain cells develop and communicate with each other. The hope is that these discoveries will lead to targeted treatments or even genetic screening for the various forms of autism. Now, other interesting news comes from advanced MRI imaging of the brains of younger siblings of children with autism. They're at a higher risk of developmental disability as well. 2 studies have found differences in the MRIs of infants who went on to develop autism. One found excess brain fluid may predict the condition in high-risk babies. The MRI image on the right is from a 6-month-old who was later diagnosed with autism. The dark spaces between the brain folds and skull show a large amount of cerebrospinal fluid. 70% of babies in the study who had this excess fluid developed autism by the age of 2. Now, meanwhile, another study found increased growth in specific parts of the brains of infants who went on to develop autism. And as always, while these findings are promising, experts say there is more research needed. Back to you.
Okay, Doc. Well, here's a look at what our Hank Winchester is working on for our special on the Flint water crisis.